Hi there, again, this is Professor Innes, and you're on your second week, second module, and this is on ethics. But first of all, you're going to deal with what is philosophy. So it's basically your full introduction to philosophy and how you are going to approach philosophy and understand its purpose. So we'll discuss the philosophy bit first, and then we'll go on to the part on ethics. Right, so as a philosopher, you're dealing with problems. It's the case that you're not dealing with any answers, you're not dealing with any considerations whereby something is being put forward as a solution. Here, you, as a philosopher, realize that there are lots of presumptions out there. People have made these presumptions, and you realize it to be highly problematic that they've said this. So if it's the case that when you deal with ethics, get to ethics, and somebody says, oh, okay, I am sure that capital punishment is good because it's a good deterrent to people doing bad things. Now, in order for that statement to be true, then it's a good thing, the person would have to prove it to be a good thing. Now, first of all, people have got to be killed for corporal punishment to be carried out, so they might say straight away that's a bad thing. There are arguments, counter-arguments, which say that capital punishment is bad. So basically what you have there in philosophy is you recognizing that there are arguments out there. There are presumptions which are highly questionable, but people still live by them, and they still presume them to be true. And in fact, some of them think because they say they're true, therefore they're true. So for us, we're highly critical. Again, critical does not mean to say we're uncharitable or unkind. In fact, the opposite is often the case when you point out that something has gone amiss. But, in order to clarify this misunderstanding, this presumption, one is in fact doing somebody a favour. So, in that way, we're just critical. So that's what we do as philosophers. So do that reading, please. On the introduction to philosophy and its purpose, its means of enlightenment for us as individuals, and also for a wider social world as well. So after that, you're going to get into ethics. As we just mentioned here, ethics is to do with the questions about what is right, what is wrong, what is good moral behavior, what is bad moral behavior. Ethics does not put forward any prescriptions. People often use the word ethics and say, my ethics is this. Therefore, my ethics is that you should be kind to people and always be helpful. Well, that's moral philosophy. That's when we say here, my moral philosophy is this, or my moral theory is this. Ethics is the understanding and the study of the competing notions of the good. So therefore, you in ethics are studying all these different arguments, looking at them as being counter-arguments to each other, and you're thinking, okay, we've got a big problem here in saying what is right, what is wrong. Is it the case that capital punishment is wrong? Is it the case that anything which uses a person as a means to an end to something is wrong? So you're looking at this impartially. You're not going to come up with any suggestions about what's right or wrong. Just realize it is highly problematic. There are people out there, again, who do presume that because they hold something to be dear to themselves that it's true. We have to say that that's not the case. The case would be you have to prove it to be true. And we can't prove any given moral argument, to be true. We can believe in it and have a conviction that we like it, we are attracted to this way of thinking and this way of life, but it doesn't mean to say it's true. So again, in ethics, we're going to look at these different arguments from deontology, which argues that we should do the thing for its own sake, and consequentialism, which says here we should do it with the view of the end result in mind. So in that view, therefore, you're looking at these competing notions of the good as a philosopher. Now, in moral philosophy, you look at the arguments, and philosophers put forward arguments Really, they shouldn't, because they end up coming up with these conclusions, as we just mentioned. And these conclusions are highly problematic. So you look at these arguments, you understand them, you might find them attractive even. It might be the case you like it to be the case that these arguments exist. But is it the case that they're true? Are they problematic? So if we look at Aristotle's notion of the happy good life, we could say, yes, I do wish to be happy, I think, yes. But maybe I don't want to be happy. Maybe it's the case that sometimes I like to read a book which causes me to be somewhat melancholy and therefore have a deep consideration about my world and everything therein for a couple of weeks, which is not a state of happiness. So you ask yourself, okay, maybe Aristotle is not right. And also with Aristotle is presumption of the happy mean between excessive behavior and deficient behavior. Maybe that's not right. Maybe we just like to do things excessively now and then. And maybe there's a good argument for why we do things excessively. Or maybe just avoid things at all. Avoiding conflict could be seen as a pretty good idea. People do that all the time. So what's wrong with avoiding conflict? Instead, Aristotle says there's a happy mean between the two, and we must achieve that happy mean. So again, you can question, why does Aristotle come up with these views? Even though you like Aristotle's argument, it doesn't mean to say it's not without its many faults. So again, as a philosopher, that's what you're doing with these particular arguments. Okay, I think that will do as far as introducing ethics and philosophy. There are many good videos for you to watch, and the reading is pretty manageable and easy to comprehend. But nonetheless, let me know if you need anything. If I've got it right with the discussion board, that's the journal, sorry, the journal, I had the idea it was in the first week, but it's not, it's in the second week. So you're going to be doing this journal, and I'll be replying to you by Thursday of this week. It gets difficult with these arrangement of these courses, and sometimes it takes a lot to get used to. But if I've got it right, it's going to be due by, I think, Thursday. I'll reply to your journal, and you'll have a reply to me by Saturday or Sunday, basically after I've made my comment or comments. Okay, right, but the main thing is just keep an eye out for it, and make your reply after I have done so. Yeah, and all the dates and everything are written down. So, okay, so that's this week. What is philosophy? And you're starting on ethics, the study of moral philosophy. So again, let me know if you need anything, please, and good luck with everything, and talk to you later. Bye.